Good morning and welcome into Hello Crypto, episodes 2, presented by 60s Trading. Master the markets with precision, learn, execute, profit. I am 60, and joining us today is Jay with the alphaangle.com. Today's episode is brought to you by Alpha Angle. Embrace the crypto culture for all your crypto apparel needs at the alphaangle.com. Now let's break down the market and what it's doing today. How you doing today, Jay?
Doing good, buddy. Excited to see what happens today. We've got a lot of. It looks like there was a lot of liquidity kind of left on the board from yesterday's move, so I expect to see a little bit of a pullback to around the $2 mark. Give me 1 second here. Get my chart pulled back up here.
Yeah, I was seeing that too. Where we'd had that marked out for the 4-hour order block we'd called out.
On the 2-hour chart, and it shows that magnetic pink line right in about at that $2 mark. So that would actually back that up as well.
That is actually getting spot on, just about $2 on the dot. We got the visual showing double sales on it, that it's overbought. So that's what we're looking at. See, is 216 our top area there? Or are we going to go ahead and continue to push down to hit these pink lines to the bottom side, which we've already seen the 1 minute hit, which means 5 minute would be the next one up, which is down at that 207. So we could start seeing those actually drop today. Yeah.
You know, it's funny, 60, that we've been I don't know exactly. I think we've been trading probably around the same amount of time, but whenever, just jumping in here with you over the past few months, finding out just different things that that you pick up on, you've picked up on your own, that I've for instance, the 7:30 time frame for price action, things like that. It's nice whenever you're trading like this with somebody else, that you get to share those things, and because I hadn't seen that trend yet, but I've been watching it ever since you talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, when you say 7:30, a lot of people probably won't understand that, but on the Eastern time zone and stuff, it's technically would be the 8:30 and stuff. That that's when you're going to wind up seeing any kind of market news that's going to be coming in. You'll see a big spike and stuff, or especially if there's going to be news, you'll see roughly about 30 minutes or 10 minutes or so before that 8:30 area, you're going to see price start to go sideways. But price has already done one thing. It's either overnight has come down, and then starts going sideways right there close to 8:30, which typically gives you the exact what we're about to do is we're going to be 8:30 is going to hit, and he's going to hit, and we're going to shoot up with a big spike. So, simple thing on that would be is you put in a long position right there, stop loss at that, bottom of that, little sideways spot, and then, as soon as 8:30 hits, it jumps, you get a big spike, you take a big profit. If you want to try to let it run some, you can, but typically it's going to spike up, and then after a little bit, it's going to wind up flipping and coming back down, because what it's doing, it's going to wind up pushing up, hitting a order block, and people's going to jump into it, thinking it's going to keep going, and then it flips and pulls back. Same thing as, like right now, we've pulled all the way up here, and now we're starting to get a little bit sideways looking, and it looks, on the visual and stuff on multiple time frames of, hey, it's overbought, it's got to go down. So it kind of tells us that we may see that. I don't know if there's some news set for 8:30 today. I've not really looked, but if at around 8:30 it starts to get a little bit sideways, that's what I'm gonna be looking for. Is hey, let's go ahead and put a short in, and enjoy the ride back down here to hit some of these order blocks that we've got called out, you know?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely accurate. I'm sitting here and hang on a second. I still feel like that's going to come down around the $2 mark before it goes back up.
Yeah, I can agree on that. I don't feel that we're going to break that 216 stuff. I believe we're sideways at the moment because, I mean, you got this big candle that we did here that was from the 208 all the way up to the 216. And since then, we've been sideways inside of that, that big pull up. And of course, technically, yes, there is a order block right there. It's at that 209 down to the 207. But at the same time, we've been riding this green line up and we've tapped it multiple times, and it's time for it to pull back down below the red and, do a reset. I mean, even on the 4-hour time frame, it's time for it to pull back down as well. So, I'm still looking for that pullback down into that $2 before we wind up seeing the higher range. Now, if we do push up and we break that 216, we could see it push on up. It just depends on the volume and the, I guess, the volatility as well.
Do you have any? Are you seeing any areas of resistance? I mean, what around like I'm seeing maybe feeling like the 218, 220. If it does break that 16, I've got my trade in right now at taking profit at a long taking profit at 214.
Well, I mean, if we wind up breaking that, I mean, that would just be us pushing up towards another marker, which the only marker that technically we have left is going to be that 4-hour pink line sitting at $2.22, So, I mean, and on top of that, if we wind up, we do go ahead and push up and tap that 4-hour pink line. All the other pink lines are down below. What would we have left if we broke past that pink line? Would be our upper order block at that $2.47 we called out. So, I mean, that's a pretty big distance to go, but with the volatility and stuff, and we're kind of in a parabolic kind of move right now because it's getting ready. It wants to take off, and when we look at the daily, we've already got the green dot. The last time we got our green dot, instead of doing like our typical takeoff positions, the market got manipulated, and instead of pushing back up, it started to, and then that's when market manipulation come in. We started pulling back, and then we had on 1010 where we had that big murder candle, and we've been basically reclaiming that all the way since then. But right now, as you can see, we've already got the green light, and it's already angled to the upside. So it's one of those where it's ready for the new year to start climbing again, kind of like we did back last year around January and stuff when Trump took office.
Yeah, that was nice.
I think we're still up from where we had started at. We're still up like between 300 to 500%.
Oh yeah, because we had hit about 6.
All right. Yeah, I know my kids' savings fund. I took and bought in, and I think it was like a month or something later after buying them some stuff in their savings, and now it's sitting up there, about 400 or 500% in profit. So that's good for their savings.
Oh yeah, it's funny you bring that up because we just had the holiday season here, and so whenever you gift your kids cryptocurrency. It's not the sexiest of gifts to a child, but I feel very, very confident that as time goes, they will be very thankful.
Oh yeah, in the long run, yeah, they're definitely going to be, thankful that, you know, us as parents, was thinking about that and, preparing them. I'm not wanting to try to set my kids up to be millionaires and stuff to where they don't have to learn anything. I want them to learn how the world works and how to earn everything, but at the same time, want to make sure that they're not in debt or anything. Like, most of us has grown up having to fight to, work for somebody else. That's why, I try to teach them now that the best thing to do is to create your own business and be your own boss. Set your own schedules and stuff because you don't want to take and spend the rest of your life breaking your back working for somebody else who tells you when you got to be there, what you got to do, and what you got to wear and all these things. To make this little bit of money, you're worth more than that. So if you create your own business, and set your mind to it, you can make more money than what they're allowing you to get. You can hire people and pay them, so it just depends on what kind of business you go with, but it's better to work for yourself.
Yeah, to your point, bud, I agree 100%. Don't find yourself in a position where you're just trading time for money. Get paid what you're really worth, not what somebody else thinks you're worth. The only way to prove that is to be doing this on your own. And yeah, I agree. I don't want to gift my children out of good character, uh, but I do want to make sure that they're not starting off with life behind the eight ball.
Exactly. You got anything else on XRP you want to talk about before we look at some other coins?
Right now it feels like we got just a little bit more of the same on the XRP. I'm definitely watching it like a hawk. I've got a lot of notifications and things set up. Again, I'm curious to see which areas that we visit today because of the gaps that were built in over the last 24 hours. But I would like to look at DAG, at H bar. Uh, I know that they're not indicators of where the market's going to go, but they are coins that I'm interested in seeing what they're about to do as well.
Right. Before we switch over to DAG stuff, I do want to switch over and check out Bitcoin for just a second because I know we had that order block that we was popped into, and with where it's at, I just wanted to try to look and see here. See, so this one was called out on the daily, this order block. So let me see. I want to see if I can find, because it might be able to tell us better of where we're going. So 4 hour, we hit the blue line for the 4 hour on Bitcoin. I'm trying to see if there's anything on a lower time frame that would signal if there's going to be any more on this upside or if we're good for a pullback at 8:30, 9:30 opening. Um, anything? Yeah, looks like it might be about all that we're going to do with the Bitcoin on the upside there. Hopefully, so that way we don't break above that order block. Again, that upper order block right there that we're in goes up to $94,468. So as long as we don't break above that, you're going to see us kind of pull back to start reclaiming some of those lower order blocks. Hopefully today, starting at around the 8:30, 9:30, we'll be watching that stuff, and you can see Bitcoin when it actually gave its green light back here. We've been, up, pull back, hit the order blocks, and then we've pushed up. So another pullback would be a good healthy one as well. So that with a little bit of coin update there. But yeah, as long as we stay right here, I can see this pulling back, Ethereum pulling back, XRP pulling back. Now DAG though, looking at it this morning, it's up 10.23%. That's amazing.
Oh, I didn't see that actually. I was speaking off of my my opinion of it, how things were going yesterday morning, or just all in all. But yeah, it did break out, didn't it?
It did. Looks like it's pulled up back above the orange line, which, look, if you notice, the green is crossing up across the red, which is going to set up a little slingshot position for it to be able to pull back down. But let's just kind of take a look here where all the pink lines are. So pink lines down below on just about every time frame.
Not the 4 hour.
So the 4 hour still above, and so is the daily. So I mean, we could see a nice pull up. Looks like I got an order block that was drawn out there from a while back, and of course that one's already been hit and done. So let's look at it here. So let's get whatever order blocks we can get here. So I know I do see one here on the daily. Go ahead and get this one marked out. So looks like the bottom of it 0.010948. All right, corrections. It should have been the top. My bad. 0.010890, and then the bottom at 0.010350. All right, so got that in there. We'll go ahead and get this marked. I'm be able to see it. 0.0110. I'll just go ahead and do the whole drawn out typing of it, since it's down, in the cents. 0150, and we're marking this one out for the daily. All right, so we got that marked out. Let's see if we look at it on the dailies. We go back just a little ways. We do have another order block on the upper side, and that one we have the high at 0.020182 with a bottom 0.019075. Coordinates are set, and get that marked out.
09.
It's always hard typing this early in the morning. And again, we marked that one on the daily. All right. So we do have that upper order block that we could be pushing up into. So we could be seeing this thing getting up into the 2 cents. And now if we scroll back a little bit more on the daily, we do have another order block as well. We love seeing order blocks, especially when they're going to be lining us up with demand areas with our our lines. So we got this one that's going to bring us up, which would be up above the orange line area. We do have one down below, so we could possibly see another reversal here to hit this lower order block, push back up to the upper one, and then come back and hit another one down below it, which gives me the idea that we're starting to see more bullish momentum. So you'd wind up seeing us pull back up again and hitting the yellow line. We do have another order block. It's on past this this one in here that we'll mark out here in a second, that would put us up to our pink line area for the daily as well, which will be getting us up in that 3 cent, almost 4 cent area. That's exciting because we've been on the downtrend for a little bit now, and I think we're ready to see that wallet grow. Let's see. So this order block here that we've got is top of it 0.02 8960, and on the bottom 0.02 6417. That's marked out.
Trying to see your. I'll go ahead, buddy. I'll wait till you move that. Get your box there out of the way. I'm trying to see that order block behind it.
All right. Yeah. 0.02 6417, and then 0.02 8960. Right. And then I'll go ahead and we'll get started on the next one here. It's a smaller one, but at the same time, it is an order block. That's all the way up at the top of 0.03 4377, and lower here at 0.03 3981. I know it don't make it as exciting hearing, the slowness of calling out an order block, but it's something
It ain't
that we got to do,
buddy, but it's effective.
You're not wrong. Definitely not wrong. That is one thing that you gotta learn when reading these charts and stuff, is that it's not always the fastest and the best thing is going to make everybody happy that you're calling it. I know I've called so many times that, hey, we're going to be coming down, and the people are like, no, we're not doing that, we're never doing that, you're stupid, you don't know how to read a chart and stuff. And then it happens, and they're like nowhere to be found to say you was right.
Yeah, emotions just until you can understand how to train your emotions to stay out of it. I understand people are waiting, they're tired of waiting. Just understanding that the market and the cycle is the length of time that it's been for a reason. I think this isn't their first rodeo,
right? Yeah, it's not that I'm wanting to call it to go down. It's not like I'm saying, yeah, hey, I want it to drop. I mean, I want it to go up, but at the same time, with it down, that just means I get things at a discount. I can buy it a little cheaper, get a little bit more of it before it pushes up. But inevitably, it's going to go up.
Oh yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I've got a smaller leverage long that I stay in just because I don't want to miss when it does go parabolic, because I'm not sitting here or I was on the sidelines too much. I don't want to miss it all, but at the same time, again, trading with fundamentals starts with don't put in what you can't do without.
100%.
So far, so good.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's the one thing I teach here in the 60s trading community is you get your risk management stuff, but if you're even going to step into the trading world and do leverage trading or anything, or if you're going to be buying crypto in general and stuff, depending on what it is, you don't want to put in anything that you're not willing to lose, because it is a market that can take your money and run with it. So if you're going to be investing into a crypto, do your own research on it. Don't just listen to the FUD that's out there and stuff, because there's a lot of, scams out there where they'll push a coin and you're like, oh, it's going to be great. You hop into it and then they pull the money and run and you're left with nothing. You've lost it all. So get something that's well vetted, coins that are like, XRP, XLM, XDC, you got SHX. It's been around for a while. You got HBAR, Pro. There's some other ones out there and stuff, but my main bags and stuff is going to be the XRP, XLM, XDC. I got some DAG and some other things and stuff as well. I actually have some SHX somewhere. I can't remember which wallet it's in, from about 3 or 4 years ago, and so apparently it's up pretty good. I don't remember which wallet it's in. That's the problem of having multiple wallets and stuff. I got the LEPAL and a couple of other ones and stuff there, which I've got some links for those over on my side as well. But I don't know. They're in one of them. I just got to pull them out and actually check. But I mean, it's not hurting me if it's up.
Yeah, we get to that point. We got to do some house cleaning
at some point. Yeah, I think it's up. Man, I forget exactly what I seen the last time. I think I'd gotten it, and it was well below a cent. So I think it's up really good.
5, 3, 4, 3, 6, 7. Right. I'm still plotting out these OBs on DAG.
I mean, on the daily side, that's about all the order blocks, unless we wind up going way back, which even at that one, it doesn't show an order block. Going back to, let's see, if we go all the way back here, we didn't have nothing there. I go all the way back to its all-time high of like 46 cents. I got one order block. But 39 cents up to that 42 cent area, but we get back up to there. I mean, we're gonna break it and hit new all-time highs.
That'd looks like it.
See, if we go back up there, 42 cent, man, we're gonna see probably, I would guess, 50 cent, but that would be me speculating. But looking at it, looks like we're ready to do some pushing up. We'll see how it closes out today and stuff. We'll look back at it again tomorrow too. I'm trying to look at the 4-hour here for this. The 4-hour DAG, you have the pink line at the 0.016516. We did create a order block on the 4-hour for DAG. We'll go ahead and just real quickly mark that out before we move on to something else. 4-hour looks like it's starting to get overbought, but I believe the daily still can push it up some more before it's in the, well, the daily's definitely going to be able to do it. We still got the 2-hour and the 4-hour that are still in the green, hasn't been getting to the reds yet. This one here.
This DAG chart looks pretty darn good.
I know it's exciting to see the pump that's coming in here. I believe we're going to wind up seeing, hopefully soon, we'll get to see that XRP break the coupling with Bitcoin and actually start to move on its own. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I'm looking forward to the decoupling. I mean, and I hear some people talk about having Bitcoin and Ethereum to guide the market. I just think that I think XRP is primed to decouple, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's time. I mean, I was expecting to see it sooner, but then they took and had that market manipulation and stuff to hold us down a little bit more. It's like they wasn't ready for us to take off just yet. But
You talking about the 10th, October 10th?
yeah, so that we was ready for that decoupling and pushing away, and then they wanted to take and pull us back. My chart shows we was ready to take off. There was no doubt about it. And then we started going sideways and then backwards, and then we had that big old murder candle that I'd been calling out that people called me crazy. We're never going back to there. Just like we've had some other ones that we know that they said we're never going back below $2, and then like right after they say it, I send them a DM, and I'm like hey I hate to do this to you, but we're going to be going below $2, and I give them the exact numbers and stuff, and it's like not even like an hour later, then boom, it drops, and then they go live and stuff, and they talk about well, they did just send me a DM, a little earlier stuff after I said it, saying we're going lower, and we're actually hitting the price that they called out. So it's not that I'm wanting to call it out, so that because that's what I want. That's what the chart shows from these indicators. So that's
You got to stay with what's working, what has worked for you, and what you
right,
trust. Be
right.
consistent. Don't jump from indicator to indicator. You got to learn and really respect what you've got and trust your program. Move forward.
So we got this other little order block we just set up here for the lower side on the 4 hour for DAG. That's down here. It's at the 0.012262 all the way down to the 0.011885. Was you able to get that one marked out?
Yeah, I've got a little different. Give me a second.
I want to make sure you get that marked out there before we move on. What do you think about for our next one? We look at some SHX before we finish up the day here.
Yeah, I've held a little bit of that for a while. I know I took profit on that coin. It's been a minute. I need to check and see where I stand on that.
Kind of excited with this, this move with DAG here, because I mean, that's a nice move. I think
I may look at trading that here in a second.
yesterday SHX was up. I think I'd seen it up was like 16%, which today it's up 8.48% as it sets. So go ahead and switch over here and take a look at SHX. Get it over here on the daily. Oh yeah, daily's giving us a green light. Last time we had a green line, we had a big old beautiful spike. Let's see what we got. Last time we got spike, we wound up taking a 90.46% move. Went from 0.007 up to 0.014. That was
Talking about back in
awesome.
August.
That was back in November, from November 22nd to the 27th. Is when we had that last green dot right there and spiked, and it didn't even get to go all the way up to where it should have. And of course, it got pulled back down along with the rest of the market. But now we got this thing green lit. It's curved. It is pushing, and already it is. Oh yeah, right now. We're up 66.78% since we got the green light on the daily for it. But like with most of them, it's building order blocks here. It's got these fair value gaps that are marked out along here. Now, it could be just that, we're creating a base for it here, so that way we have support. But we still want to mark out those supports because we could be coming back to see those. Let's see. 0.006635. And then we got 0.006184. Mark these chart.
I heard that there is a lending protocol coming on the XRPL.
Oh, really? Tell us about that.
Oh, that's really just what I've been reading. That I know XRP or Ripple had applied for a U.S. bank charter. Huge legitimacy boost. I had taken a note on that. I think that should kick the market a little bit.
That's awesome.
Then I guess there's still some, there's some the IPO talks picking up as well. That should help us a little bit.
Yeah. How about that? I seen they was talking about they applied for a bank. Was it bank license?
Yeah. A U.S. bank charter.
And what didn't somebody say that? I thought I saw somebody say that got approved. That they would be the first, I guess, crypto bank.
Did it get approved?
I could be wrong. I don't keep up with that as much as I do of these charts. I tend to love looking at a chart. To me, this is better than watching football.
Ooh, that's a bold statement.
I know. I've gotten to where I don't even hardly watch football anymore because, there's more action on these charts. You switch to a lower time frame and, boy, you can have some fun with it.
Yeah, it looks like you're right. In December, that was approved. I'm clearly reading an older post, so never mind on that. It's already done.
Well, I mean, we definitely need the updates on them, and then of course, I'd heard they'd purchased another, I guess, place that you was able to get crypto loans from.
Yeah, on the DeFi platform. It looks like it was conditionally approved in December. Still waiting for a few things to go through, but I don't see anything holding that up.
Right. Well, I mean, it is XRP, so, and Ripples. The government likes to try to slow anything down with it when it comes to Ripple and XRP.
I've been referencing the 2017 charts. They're matching quite a bit more than I thought they would. Now I don't know that that's going to be it's going to stay that way, so I'm not giving any kind of advice
Right.
on that. But
Well, we don't do any kind of financial advice here,
some,
anyways.
So you're setting up a long on XR today from back over there.
Am I setting up a long
From around the $2 mark?
I'm well, the way I'm playing this stuff, I'm probably just going to take and have a short that I'm going to probably put in, but we're going to look at it a little bit more closer and stuff. And we'll talk about that around, between 8:30, which would be 7:30 your time. We'll be in the Discord. We'll be able to talk it out and see what it's doing, and we can call it live in the Discord there. That's the great thing about being a member here. We can do that and see which way, if we're going to actually short it or if we're going to be pushing up higher. So we'll know more about that time, because it's going to continue to either go sideways or it's going to push up before that 8:30. And if so, then we'll be able to call it and hit a short, ride that bad boy down, and then once it gets to that area, see if it's going to break it or if it's going to reverse. If it breaks it, we're going to keep riding it. We are going to take a profit out on it and probably leave something in there riding down for our lower ones. But I've got 2 upper order blocks here on SHX, at 1 on bottom side there. So right now we're pushing for that daily pink line for SHX, with the upper order block just past it. I think that, yeah. So the daily would be the highest pink line, leaving everything else below. So I can see us coming up and hitting that daily pink line, and then smacking that order block just above it there, and then possibly reversing and pulling back. Where to? We got a couple little spots that we could call out for order blocks on the 4-hour. It could be something like that, so we could possibly see pull back to that yellow line, or we could wind up seeing pull back to that lower order block itself. So
Checks.
you got anything else to add in there?
Well, I do want to drop a little. Hang on. I just want to let everybody know, if you're not checking out 60s trading Discord, you need to. We're in here every morning trading. You'll trade right beside us, whether you know or don't know how to read these indicators and understand charting. If you are looking to move in that direction, I think that this is a great place for everybody to get in, and always have somebody to answer questions every morning. Yeah, look into it. It's definitely the best program that I've been a part of as far as trading, and have community trading. So yeah, look into it, guys.
Yeah, and I'm wanting to try to look at getting that classes started, hopefully this week, training and stuff. So the one thing I will tell everybody is, we have our own indicators that we created, and in order to be able to understand it and learn it and to be profitable, you have to learn your risk management, learn how to call out and mark these order blocks. But at the same time, you gotta sometimes forget some of the other things you've been taught, because if the other things you've been taught is not helping you be profitable, you need to back up, learn this process, and start being more profitable. You can use it once you learn it. You can use it on the smaller time frames and do a little scalping and stuff. We like to do a lot of the longer stuff and make more profits on it and stuff. Is it 100% win rate? No, because there's going to be options where we have an order block, but there's another order block below it or something, and they really want to push with the volatility to get to that other one, and that's why we set a stop loss to where it's going to knock us out. We're going to take a loss, but we set it where we're comfortable with that loss, because the next entry is going to be the better entry we could get in, and then ride back up, make up what we lost, plus a whole lot more.
I do like your aggressive style of of risk management.
It's not something that, you know, a lot of people teach. So that's one thing that I will stress, you know, like, you know, we're not financial advisors, you know, we're not no geniuses or nothing. It's just over the past years of looking at the charts, learning, you know, this and that, and then going and, you know, trying to learn from some of these other influencers out there that, you know, supposedly they know all these things. And, you know, some of them, they've got some really good systems, but in order to learn it and stuff, it's not as easy to learn. And on top of that, you pay, you know, $400 or $500 or $1,000 for their indicators a month, and then, you know, you get in there and they're like, you know, talking to you like you're worthless, you're a piece of crap, you're nothing. You're giving them, you know, $1,000 a month, and if you can't do it, you know, then, you know, you're basically no better than a kindergartner, you know, and they just gonna talk down to you, you know.
Yeah, and
And
if they're not going to transfer the knowledge is only good if it can be. Well, I'm not saying it's only good if it can be shared, but if you can't transfer your knowledge of what you're trying to teach, then yeah, you're just plotting people in or holding and setting them to be so that you can. I mean, they can keep charging over them, but not learning anything. And I feel like in here you're teaching how to read these indicators. Uh, and if people stick around, great. I think that they will. I think there's no reason why every month uh, uh, this should pay for itself. It definitely.
oh yeah,
I have never spent a month using these indicators and using this 60 alpha pulse system and not made more money than I have ever spent or lost since I've transferred here. I don't know if that's going to always stay the same, but for now, I can't say that, so I will.
yeah. I mean, these indicators are not going to tell you, you know, XRP is going to $10,000. You know, we read the charts on what it's showing as it's showing it, you know, with our lines and everything. It's that's where, you know, I get a lot of people that are like, you know, well, where do you think we're going to go? You know, $10? I don't know. I can tell you our pink lines are over here, you know, and, you know, looking at the structure and stuff, you know, we're going to wind up getting back up to this point, and that's going to have things where we're going to pull back. And I can give you where we're working at right now. Now, if you want somebody that's going to predict the other stuff, you know, there's other people for that. But I mean, we only charge, you know, the $21.99 a month for the membership, and I've done that for a simple reason. I don't want to charge, you know, $500 a month, which, you know, I've had a lot of the members saying, wow, you know, I paid, you know, $1,000 a month. You know, I'd definitely give you $500 a month. Well, I don't know why you ain't switching to that. Why don't you charge more for your indicators? Because I want the average Joe, you know, somebody that either they're, you know, they've got the big funds and they can throw them around, to the person who's, you know, paying child support and everything, can't afford $500 a month or whatever, to be able to come in, spend $21.99 a month. They can make one trade that makes or that or more, depending on how much they put in on the trade, but they can make that $21.99 a month back easily. Even if they take just one trade a month, they can make that back. So depending on how much they do, that would be, you know, it saves them, you know, and, you know, hey, you're making money. But, you know, you got to learn patience, risk, and the main part of it is don't come in expecting everybody else to read the charts for you. You need to learn the charts yourself too. I want you to be able to look at these charts and read them the same way that I can, so that way maybe I'm over here looking at, you know, some XRP and Bitcoin stuff. You're over here, you're looking at the DAG and SHX, and somebody else over here looking at, you know, Doge and H bar, and and then we can become a community that, oh, we're seeing trades over here and stuff, and we're just helping each other. So now instead of me, calling just like trades here on XRP or something, and we getting into it and we're doing those, and you're like, those are just, they don't come very often because of the way we're trading it. Well, guess what? Now we got people with eyes on multiple cryptos. Now we got multiple trades that we can take, and now you're really making money. And then when you're making money like that, well, guess what? Your 9 to 5 can be, you come in here and, we just start putting in our trades and stuff. And then once we got our stop loss, take profit set, we already know how much we're going to lose. If we lose it, we're good. We've got it set. We're in there. Now, once it's into the profits area so far, we're going to move our stop loss above our entry. So now if it comes backwards, market wants to flip on us, guess what? It's going to hit our stop loss in the take profit. We're still going to make money. If it keeps going, we're going to make money. So it's a win-win situation, and then, if we do have any losses, we're going to recoup those and a whole lot more by getting in at the better entry. So
that's the play.
That is the play. So it's been fun this morning, but I think it's about time for this episode to come to an end. I appreciate you hopping in here this morning, Jay, and hopefully we can get you in here each day and everything.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Definitely. Guys, remember, if you haven't already, head over to thealphaangle.com. Get your crypto merchandise from them. You got some awesome stuff there. I think I got some stuff in the mail coming in. I'm actually looking at getting one of those hoodies. I was looking at one of those hoodies this morning and stuff for the XRP on there. That right there, I seen it and I'm like, oh my God, it is cold season. I need one of those.
Yeah, I've been, I do try out all the items, not every item that, according to what's on them, but every item that I've sold in there was chose not for price. It was chose for comfort and longevity. So definitely head over, guys. And if you have any questions, there's an area on there you can ask any questions. You can request certain crypto gear that may not be on there right now, but definitely go check it out. And thanks, guys.
All right. We'll see y'all in the next episode. That should be tomorrow.
Cool. I'll be here, buddy.
All right. We'll see y'all guys.